Chapter 23 of Microbiology from OpenStax, which is free to everybody. The urinary system is responsible for filtering blood, excreting wastes, and helping to regulate electrolyte and water balance. The urinary system includes 2 kidneys and 2 ureters, and a urinary bladder and a urethra. The bladder and urethra are the most common sites of infection. Common sites of infection in the male reproductive system are the urethra as well as the testes, prostate, and epididymis. The most common sites of infection in the female reproductive system are the vulva, vagina, cervix, and fallopian tubes. Infection of the urogenital tract can occur through colonization from the external environment, alterations of the microbiota due to hormonal or other physiological and environmental changes, and fecal contamination and STIs. Bacterial cystitis is commonly caused by fecal bacteria such as Escherichia coli. Pyelonephritis is a serious kidney infection that is often caused by a bacteria that traveled from infection elsewhere in the urinary tract and may cause systemic complications. Leptospirosis is a bacterial infection of the kidney that can be transmitted by exposure to infected animal urine, especially in contaminated water. It is more common in tropical than temperate climates. NGU, which is non-gonococcal urethritis, is commonly caused by Chlamydia trachomatis, Mycoplasma genitalium, Uriplasma urinalicum, and Mycoplasma hominis. Diagnosis and treatment for bacterial UTIs vary. A UA for leukocyte esterate levels, nitrite levels, microbe evaluation, and culture is an important component in most cases. Broad-spectrum antibiotics are typically used. Bacterial vaginosis is caused by an imbalance in the vaginal microbiota and a decrease in the lactobacilli and an increase in the vaginal pH. Gardnerella vaginalis is the most common cause of bacterial vaginosis, which is associated with the vaginal discharge, odor, burning, and itching. Gonorrhea is caused by Neisseria gonorrhea, which can cause infection of the reproductive and urinary tracts and is associated with signs and symptoms of urethritis. If no treatment, it can progress to epididymitis, salpingitis, or PID. It can enter the bloodstream to infect other sites in the body. Chlamydia is the most commonly reported STI and is caused by Chlamydia trachomatis. Most infections are asymptomatic, and infections that are not treated can spread to involve the epididymis or salpingitis within fallopian tubes and also PID. Syphilis is caused by Treponema pallidum, and it has 3 stages: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary syphilis is associated with a painless hard chancre lesion on the genitalia. Secondary syphilis is associated with skin and mucous membrane lesions. Tertiary syphilis is the most serious and life-threatening and can involve serious nervous system damage. Chancroid is an infection of the reproductive tract caused by Haemophilus ducreyi that results in the development of characteristic soft chancres. Genital herpes is usually caused by HSV2 and may cause the development of infected recurrent vesicles. Neonatal herpes can occur in babies born to infected people and can cause symptoms ranging from mild, which is common, to severe, which is less common. Human papillomaviruses are the most common sexually transmitted viruses and include strains that cause genital warts, while other strains can cause cervical cancer. Candida species are typically present in the normal microbiota in the body, including the skin, respiratory tract, gastrointestinal tract, and female urogenital system. Disruptions in the normal vaginal microbiota can lead to an overgrowth of candida, causing vaginal candidiasis. Vaginal candidiasis can be treated with topical or oral fungicides. Prevention is difficult. Trichomoniasis is a common STI caused by Trichomonas vaginalis. Trichomonas vaginalis is common at low levels in the normal microbiota. Trichomoniasis is often asymptomatic. When symptoms develop, trick causes urinary discomfort, irritation, itching, burning, discharge from the penis or vagina. Trichomoniasis is treated with antiflagellate drugs, tinidazole and metronidazole. When urine first leaves the kidneys, it flows through the ureters. In the men, the urethra is shared for both urinary and reproductive systems. Non-gonococcal urethritis is associated with Mycoplasma hominis, Chlamydia trachomatis, and Mycoplasma genitalium. Escherichia coli is a strain of bacteria associated with bladder infections that shows gram-negative rods. Treponemal and non-treponemal serological testing can be used for syphilis. Lymphogranuloma venereum is caused by serovas of Chlamydia trachomatis. The latent stage of syphilis that lasts for many years can occur between the secondary and tertiary stages. Genital herpes is the most commonly caused by HSV2. Coelocytes are characteristics of cells that are infected with the human papillomavirus. Miconazole is an oral medication recommended as the initial topical treatment for genital yeast infections. Trichomoniasis is the only common infection of the reproductive tract caused by a protozoan. The NAAT test, which is nucleic acid amplification testing, is preferred for Trichomonas vaginalis because of its high sensitivity. The genus of bacteria found in the vagina that is important in maintaining a healthy environment, including an acidic pH, is Lactobacillus. Pyelonephritis is a potentially severe infection of the kidneys. Soft chances on the genitals are characteristic of the sexually transmitted disease chancroid. Condylomata are warts. The most common Candida species associated with yeast infection is Candida albicans. Trichomoniasis is caused by Trichomonas vaginalis. When the microbial balance of the vagina is disrupted, leading to overgrowth of the resistant bacteria without necessarily causing inflammation, the condition is caused vaginosis. STIs and STDs are basically the same thing. Chapter 24 of Microbiology from OpenStax, which is free to everyone. The digestive tract, consisting of the oral cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine, has a normal microbiota important to health and homeostasis. The constant movement of materials through the GI canal, the protective layer of mucus, the normal microbiota, and the harsh chemical environment in the stomach and the small intestine help prevent colonization by pathogens. Infection or microbial toxins in the oral cavity can cause tooth decay, periodontal disease, and various types of ulcers. Infections and intoxications of the gastrointestinal tract can cause general symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and fever. Localized inflammation of the GI tract can result in gastritis, enteritis, gastroenteritis, hepatitis, and colitis. It can damage epithelial cells of the colon and lead to dysentery. Foodborne illnesses refers to infections or intoxications that originate with pathogens or toxins ingested in contaminated food or water. Dental caries, tartar, and gingivitis are caused by overgrowth of oral bacteria, usually Streptococcus and Actinomycete species, as a result of insufficient dental hygiene. Gingivitis can worsen, allowing Porphyromonas, Streptococcus, and Actinomyces species to spread and cause periodontitis. When Prevotella intermedia, Fusobacterium species, and Treponina vicenti are involved, it can lead to acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis. That sounds just awful. HSV1 can cause lesions in the mouth and the throat called herpetic gingivostomatitis. Herpetic gingivostomatitis. Other infections of the mouth include oral thrush, a fungal infection caused by overgrowth of Candida yeast, and mumps, a viral infection of the salivary glands caused by a paramyxovirus. Major causes of GI illness include Salmonella species, Staphylococcus species, Helicobacter pylori, Clostridium perfringens, Clostridioides difficile, Bacillus cereus, and the Yersinia bacteria. Clostridium difficile is an important case of HAIs. Vibrio cholera causes cholera, which can be a severe diarrheal disease. Different strains of Escherichia coli, including ETEC, EPEC, EIEC, EHEC, cause different illnesses with varying degrees of severity. Helicobacter pylori is associated with peptic ulcers. Salmonella enterica serotypes can cause typhoid fever and more severe illnesses than salmonellosis. Rehydration and other supportive therapies are often used as general treatment. Careful antibiotic use is required to reduce the risk of causing Clostridium difficile infections and when treatment with antibiotic-resistant infections. Common viral causes of gastroenteritis include rotaviruses, noroviruses, and astroviruses. Hepatitis may be caused by several unrelated viruses such as hepatitis A, B, C, and D. The hepatitis viruses differ in their modes of transmission, treatment, and potential for chronic infection. Giardiasis, cryptosporidosis, amoeboiasis, and cyclosporiasis are intestinal infections caused by protozoans. Protozoan intestinal infections are commonly transmitted through contaminated food and water. Treatment varies depending on the causative agent, so proper diagnosis is important. Microscopic examination of stool or biopsy specimens is often used to diagnose in combination with others. Helminths often cause intestinal infections after transmission to humans through exposure to contaminated soil, water, or food. Symptoms are often mild but severe. Complications may develop in some cases. Ascaris lumbricoides eggs are transmitted through contaminated food or water and hatch in the intestines. Juvenile larvae travel to the lungs and then to the pharynx, where they are swallowed and return to the intestines to mature. These nematode roundworms cause ascariasis. Necator americanus and Ancylostoma duodenate cause hookworm infections when larvae penetrate the skin from the soil contaminated by dog or cat feces. They travel to the lungs and then are swallowed to mature in the intestines. Strongyloides stercoralis are transmitted from the soil through the skin to the lungs and then in the intestine, where they cause strongyloidiasis. Enterobius vermicularis are nematode pinworms transmitted by fecal-oral route. After ingestion, they travel to the colon, where they cause enterobiasis. Trichuris trichuria can be transmitted through the soil or fecal contamination and cause trichuriasis. After ingestion, the eggs travel to the intestine, where the larvae emerge and mature, attaching to the walls of the colon and the cecum. Trichinella species is transmitted through the undercooked meat. Larvae in the meat emerge from cysts and mature in the large intestine. They can migrate into the muscles and form new cysts, causing trichinosis. Taenia species and Diphyllobothrium latum are tapeworms transmitted through undercooked food or the fecal-oral route. Taenia infections cause taeniasis. Tapeworms use their scolex to attach to the intestinal wall. Larvae may also move to muscle or brain tissue. Echinococcus granulosus is a cestode transmitted through eggs in the feces of infection animals, especially dogs. After ingestion, eggs which hatch in the small intestine of the larva include the intestinal wall and travel through the circulatory system to form dangerous cysts in internal organs, causing hydatid disease. Flukes are transmitted through aquatic plants or fish. Liver flukes cause disease by interfering with the bile duct. Intestinal flukes develop in the intestines, where they attach to the intestinal epithelium. The normal microbiota of the intestine helps prevent infections by producing acids that lower the pH of the stomach, speed up the process of digestion to flush microbes, and consumes food or occupies space to compete against potential pathogens. Diverse species of bacteria, archaea, and fungi, especially bacterioids and firmicutes, are microbes that live in the intestines. Streptococcus mutans is the most important contributor to biofilms in plaque. The type of organism that causes thrush is a fungus. In mumps, the parotid glands swell to produce the disease's characteristic appearance. HSV1 is usually self-limiting and above the waist. EHEC, an Escherichia coli infection, can be severe and life-threatening consequences such as hemolytic uremic syndrome. Shigella dysenteriae is a species that produces a Shiga toxin. Vibrio cholera produces an AB toxin. HDV is a form of hepatitis virus that can only infect an individual who is already infected with another hepatitis virus. Noroviruses cause viral gastroenteritis and projectile vomiting. Entamoeba histolytica is associated with the ability, the protozoan, to cause severe dysentery. Cyclospora catenacis has a blue halo when viewed using UV fluorescence microscopy. Protozoans attached to the intestinal wall of a gerbil are likely to be Giardia lamblia. Whipworm is another name for Trichuris trichuria. A pinworm can be diagnosed using tape. The largest natural microbiota is the large intestine or the colon. When plaque becomes heavy and hardened, it is called dental calculus or tartar. Antibiotic-associated pseudomembranous colitis is caused by Clostridioides difficile. Jaundice results from a buildup of bilirubin. Chronic Giardia infection cause the unique symptoms of greasy stool and are often resistant to treatment. Liver flukes are often found in the bile duct. This was read by me, for me, so I can understand microbiology. Thank you.